If you want Fiat to make this full-fat Grande Panda complete with knobbly off-road tyres with steel wheels, cool square spot lamps, and a 4x4 system, we're going to have to buy a heck of a load of these, the new Fiat Grande Panda Hybrid. And thankfully, I think it has a very good chance of being a success. I mean, this new Hybrid Grande starts from just £18,000, which isn't just a few £1,000s less than the very popular Ford Puma, but it's also cheaper than the Dacia Duster. So to find out if the new Grande Panda Hybrid is the small family car to go for, we're going to subject it to some specific tests, and to be thorough, we brought along the British weather.
So in this surprisingly Anglo-Italian drive, we'll examine the Hybrid Grande's practicality and comfort, the speed of its tech, and how easy it is to drive. Plus, we'll also reveal a real-world fuel economy figure so you can gauge how much it'd cost to run one. But first, let's look at the Hybrid's details.
Starting with the design, because there are some small differences on the Hybrid. I mean, the obvious one is because this is a mild hybrid, you don't have to plug it in to use the electrified stuff. So it means there's no option for that spaghetti squiggly charger you can get in the nose. It means the nose itself is a little bit cleaner in design. Now, while this isn't an electric car like the one we drove earlier in the year, Fiat has still equipped the Hybrid with eco tyres from Goodyear, and they come wrapped in the same set of 17-inch alloy wheels, which means you've got a squidgy tyre, which should help with ride. Now, this particular car is a top-of-the-range La Prima, and it's finished in this lovely shade of lunar bronze, which is, to most eyes, brown. But I think it looks quite good, and it kind of accents against the silver of the roof racks, which emphasise the ruggedness. Well, look, this is new. Petrol goes in there. And at the back, well, it's very much the same as the electric car, but that's no bad thing. I mean, I very much like this pixel retro design inspired by the original Panda for the tail lights, and I like the chunky design overall as well. The key difference, of course, is the fact that you get a hybrid sticker over there. And you might be thinking, well, where is the exhaust tailpipe? I was thinking the same until I went like that. It's over there.
So it looks smart, but does the Grande Panda live up to life in 2025? Well, our first test examines the startup performance of Fiat's new infotainment tech to see if it's helpful or a hindrance.
Right, before I get completely sodden in all this rain, we need to do our Bluetooth test to see how quickly CarPlay fires up on the systems so I can get my Waze sat-nav running. It's an important test in 2025, so to give the car a benefit of the doubt, I've got my key in my hand and my phone here. So let's do this. Right, Le Mans style start as per usual.
3, 2, 1.
Right, open the car, get in, phone down here, put the key in the ignition. Haven't done that in a while. Right, fired up. Systems fire up quick. That's really quick in terms of screen time. But what about my CarPlay? Come on. Time, it's on. That was quite fast. That was pretty good, actually. Impressive. Just weird having a key.
Before we examine the infotainment and interior in more detail, I want to see how easy the Grande is to park. Because for anyone familiar with the smaller Panda, the Grande is a fair bit bigger.
The average UK parking space is 2.4 metres wide and 4.8 metres long, but according to this tape measure, in Italy, they're even smaller. This is just 2.3 metres wide, which sets us up nicely for our next test. So in this test, we're not just going to evaluate how easily this much bigger Grande Panda fits into a very small space, but we're also going to see what tech I have to assist me with it. So reversing camera, etc. So let's see, and turning circle as well. Now, I can see the reversing camera is very clear, but it is far from the sharpest. It's definitely a bit grainy. It's sort of PS2 levels. Probably a bit unfair, actually. Let's say PS4 levels. Turning circle's okay. I've done that all in one swoop, and the visibility, because the door mirrors are pretty tall actually, it's pretty good, the visibility. I don't have an all-round 360 view, so if you're a very nervous parker in the city, you're going to struggle with that, but I got that in first go. Even I'm quite impressed actually. You've got an overall view with the parking sensors, but it's not a video camera. But I mean, small space. Did all right.
That's a pass for city parking then, but what about city driving? I mean, can a hybrid crossover with just over 130 horsepower keep up on the commute? And, no less important for us Brits, can it deal with the lumps and bumps of UK roads?
Oh, it's quite nippy, and you know what? That 3-cylinder engine sound is nice. It's not quick, but I just about kept up with that X3 off the line, and he was driving like a proper Italian. The ride in town as well is good, you know, it's not quite as cushioned and rolly over the potholes and the speed humps as a Citroen equivalent, but it's definitely riding a little bit more light-footed than the electric car, and that's obviously true because of the weight. They've just got less suspension stiffness in this car, and the result is it's even comfier. Steering's exceptionally light as well. All the controls are very, very light, and the braking as well is quite heavily assisted, but not too much so. It's just easy to drive this car. As a city car, just like the electric one, this hybrid is going to be so easy to get on board with.
So whether you're on the bumps of Italian or British tarmac or stuck in a city traffic jam, driving the Grande Panda Hybrid won't wear you down. But will its interior? Because to achieve that £18,000 starting price, Fiat may have had to cut some corners in interior quality and technology. Let's jump inside.
Now, if you like your car technology, did you know that there is a useful tool in the Cinch app that allows you to see what specification of tech cars come with? You can see whether it's got the right type of radio and media and infotainment setup for you, and you can even compare it to other cars just like it by using our special comparison tool. It's built into the Cinch app, and the QR code on screen is a quick way to download it. But let's talk about this Panda's interior. I mean, it's very familiar, and if you've seen our electric car review, you'll definitely recognize most of the features, but it means it's got all the best bits. Now, we've got the same track layout here, which comes from Fiat's Turin circuit on the roof with a little car there, optional bamboo box there as well as your actual glove box. I love all the seat designs and the quirky bits here, but the crucial stuff is the tech, as we demonstrated, works pretty quickly. It's very simple to use, and the screen ahead of me is quite quirky as well. It gets Fiat's fun, youthful graphics, and generally speaking, this whole cabin is functional in all the bits you want it to be, but also just makes you feel young and happy.
Honestly, for the money, it's hard to knock the setup for the Grande Panda's front passengers, but before we see whether that's also true in the back and whether the hybrid's boot is any good, regular motorway drivers will no doubt want to see whether this hybrid Fiat can deal with life in the fast lane.
Fiat claims that the Grande Panda can hit 62 miles per hour in 11.2 seconds in this hybrid form. That isn't very quick at all, but we're going to test it anyway, and we've got the added challenge of it being a bit wet. So I'm going to see what the power's like, how the gearbox is, and whether I can feel electric or petrol or both. Let's do it. Initially, I can feel it's not particularly quick. Gearbox is quite fast to change. Interestingly, by the way, we have 138 horsepower, and some of that comes from electric through the gearbox. And we achieved a 0 to 62, or a 60, of 10.66 seconds. That's 6/10 quicker than claimed. It's pretty nippy, but it isn't quick. Now, I can feel the power delivery was quite smooth. The gearbox was quite quick to change. I don't even have any shift paddles, so you can't do anything yourself. So that's fine. It's okay for driving onto a motorway, but it's not going to excite you.
No surprises there then, but at least we know the hybrid Grande is more than capable of powering onto a motorway. Still, I'm a little concerned about the car's use of eco-focused tyres, especially in heavy rain. So next, I want to see what it's like during quick direction changes, you know, for safety reasons, not just because it's fun.
Right, what's this Grande Panda like if I chuck it into a roundabout in the tipping rain? Well, let's see, because I want to see if it's safe, secure, if it's Panda-like in its handling. Now, I know it rolls quite a lot because it's quite soft. No one coming around the roundabout. Let's see. You might have heard a bit of a vibration of understeer. It's set up very safe, pretty secure. It didn't do anything spooky or scary, so I guess that's good, unless you want the Abarth version, which they're not going to make.
They are, however, probably going to make a 4x4 version of the Panda if this car sells very well. So before I show you the hybrid car's rear seats and boot space, here's a quick run through of what to expect with the 4x4.
Now, first things first, what is powering this 4x4 concept? Well, we've checked under the bonnet, and it's actually using just the conventional combustion engine, not the hybrid setup, and it's got an automatic gearbox. 4x4 enthusiasts are going to get very excited by the angle of the wheels here, because there's a bit of positive camber, which is very much like the sort of stuff you see on proper off-roaders, as are the tyres on these just slightly off-white steel rims. Now, we think the car is riding a bit higher as well, not just because the tyres are chunkier, but also because if I look under here, I can see a spring with a little sticker on it that says mild hybrid. So this is the spring for the heavier mild hybrid car, but it's got the lighter engine. Now, no 4x4 would be complete without a spare wheel, and this one gets it on the roof on top of this very cool roof rack, complete, by the way, with some square spotlights. And you also get a box here, which I guess is for your tools, but I'd load it with the picnic. This interior, by the way, is also different. It looks super cool, and it's not clear yet whether it would be standard on a 4x4 or an option. Either way, I'm getting this one.
Okay, so I've just learned that this car could in fact use a petrol engine up front, and then it could gain a small electric motor at the rear here, meaning you wouldn't even need a drive shaft to enable the four-wheel drive.
That's good news for interior space, as it means the 4x4 shouldn't lose any rear legroom if, or maybe when, it arrives in the future. Although, when it comes to interior space, the hybrid should still hold an advantage.
Now, this is where the hybrid really earns its Panda spots because it's got a much deeper floor for the passengers either side. It means I've got more foot room, my legs are just more comfortable, and the pressure points on my legs are better than they were in the electric car, which placed your feet higher. I have to admit, it's only really comfortable for 2 passengers in the back here, because if you're in the middle, there is quite a chunky foot tunnel down there. And even if you don't have someone in the middle, you don't get an armrest here in this seat here. So it's not the most comfortable car out there, but it's definitely much improved from the EV with that foot space. And crucially, you still get a couple of USB-C ports and a decent amount of storage. I mean, the door pockets could take small water bottles. As for headroom, well, do you know what? It's okay. I'm just under 6 foot and I fit in here comfortably. And there's another advantage of not having batteries in the floor, and that is boot space, because while the EV was actually pretty generous for room, in this one, well, we can definitely see Jamil's carry-on aeroplane suitcase, pellicase bag goes in much deeper. The space is better because everything can go lower, so it means it's a more practical boot, and well, we're having no issues.
Which leaves just one more thing to examine: running costs, because the hybrid needs to be as cheap to run as it is cheerful to drive.
Fiat claims that this Grande Panda Hybrid should get over 50 miles per gallon combined on the WLTP cycle, but we have only got 41 miles per gallon. That is miles under. But I have to say, this is potentially a worst case scenario for a day in spring. Not only is it very heavy rain, so it's pretty high rolling resistance, we've also got the aircon turned up a lot to stop the car misting up. And you might remember we've been driving up a lot of very steep Italian hills, and we did do a couple of 0 to 60 tests. So really, this has been a challenging day for an eco car. Actually, I think 41 miles per gallon is very respectable because of the way I've been driving. If you drive more sensibly, you should get in the high 40s quite easily. And so all things combined, I think this new Grande Panda Hybrid has way more going for it than just a good starting price. It's genuinely very lovable and it's capable, as our tests have shown. In fact, I think there's a very good chance sales will be strong so that we do see a Panda 4x4 in the next year. Although, it is real time someone came along to give the Dacia Duster a proper rivalry, because right now that is the go-to budget 4x4, and the evidence for that is in our video here.